Hello everyone, I am Tacet, and today I'm going to be going over the Gems of War all-you-can-eat event, in which the Glutmaw is added to the game. So let's get into that. As far as this thing's trait stone, it comes with brown blue, and the best things to put that in early on in the game would be Glutmaw himself, as well as Forest Troll, and then Emperor Corvash later on in the game. But as far as this troop, it is insanely good from an early to mid-game perspective. This is something that would probably be pretty irrelevant later in the game. However, this is the lowest rarity 100% Devour that a newer player can really get, as well as going through mid-game before you get something like a Great Maul or High King Iron Gut or something like that. Basically, this thing curses and stuns an enemy, which gets rid of any of their immunities and all that. But it also has a 25% chance to devour a random enemy, boosted by the enemy's deaths. So basically what this is every single time an enemy dies, you will get an additional 5% chance to devour. So normally that would almost seem like just around 40% or so. However, there is one way around this. Converting a troop by transform will count as a death. So for example, if you were to use something like Dragon's Eye and constantly keep casting it because of Apothecary and other things that feed it mana, you will get an additional 5% chance to devour every single time you cast that. Basically meaning after you cast that several times, you'll already be up to 50% and 75 and so on and so forth until he's eventually a 100% chance to devour every single time he casts his ability. And unlike things like High King Iron Gut and Great Maul, this thing has only an 11 mana cost, whereas both of those other two have a 24 mana cost. Not to mention this is an ultra rare that's super easy to obtain, whereas the other ones are legends and mythics. So yeah, great low rarity Devour. Best option there is now. It's better than Gluttony, it's better than anything else that you would have had in early game. It is the absolute best early game Devour option now. Compared to anything you have, as well as just one of the better Devourers in general, probably the third or fourth best Devourer in the game, somewhere around there. There's still instances where you would use Kraken and stuff, but still overall, potentially really great troop. Does require a lot of setup though, as it basically does require you to use Dragon's Eye or something similar that has a ridiculously absurdly high chance of transforming, because that will keep stacking into his higher Devourer rate. So yeah, great troop for once. So I don't think it's really going to come into Guild War at all this week, but you never know. It's probably going to mainly be used for mainly events like Tower of Doom and raids and stuff like that, where you already even have attached to him the ability to counter out things like Immune, because he has Stun and Curse, so you can get rid of Immune to Devour with that. So potentially really, really potent troop. As far as things happening this week, don't forget, while it still doesn't have a timer here, which I have no clue why they don't have timers on it, you can still get this, the new Mythic of Obsidian for another 4 days, 18 hours and 18 minutes, so you still have plenty of time to go get him, basically until Friday reset you have, so till the end of Thursday, basically. So if you still want to open any of your Glory Gem Guild or VIP chests to go get him, he is still available. He's a pretty average Mythic currently, but give it, not next Friday, but the following Friday, we're getting a half mana Elemental start troop, so starting then, he'll be really viable, even though he's kind of average right now. Other than that, 10% to all Cinder Mirage, as well as 10% to all Daemon, so basically 20% to the entire kingdom, because it's basically the entire kingdom for the most part. While it's not too useful, you do get 40 extra souls if you use Glutmaw in Explore specifically. I wouldn't really bother with this, as he's a really slow troop, and you would mainly only want to use him in content that is relatively hard, like Tower of Doom, Delves, and stuff like that. He will not be good in Explore, so you can pretty much just ignore that for the week. And other than that, we have to do a bunch of treasure hunt if you want to go get all of the event objectives done. Only way we can end up getting that. However, there is a decent amount of gems as well as some gem keys on it, so probably worth the time to go and consider doing those. As far as event keys, this is definitely a week to skip. However, it does have availability of Queen of Sin. If I'm not mistaken, this is the first time she's been easily available since her release. So if you didn't end up getting her on release and you still want her, she is available. She's a little bit lackluster though. She's definitely below the average half if you're looking to get her as a mythic, so I wouldn't really bother for the most part, unless you just need a few more mythics. Biggest thing holding her back is that she has a random chance on Wrath or Lust, basically a 50-50 chance. If it was a 100% chance one way or the other, she'd probably be a little bit better. But given that it's one or the other, given that they don't really work in the same slot. So for example, if your first slot dies, you'd obviously want something like a Wrath there, not a Lust. But of course it could be either or. Or if something like your last slot dies and you need to get summoned, you obviously want something like a Lust there, not a Wrath, because he's mainly a first slot troop. Whereas Lust is basically any slot but first slot. So a little bit weird that she has her summon set up in that way. But overall, pretty bad Mythic, and everything else from the Kingdom not really worth getting an event key. So definitely a good week to skip opening event keys unless you just desperately want to try getting her as a drop. Other than that, of course, we just have standard Guild Wars going on. As far as events throughout the week, we do not have too many, oddly enough. This Friday, we'd have no event whatsoever. We have a blank Friday. As far as the faction event for tomorrow, we will be having Fang Moor. For Wednesday, we do have a new pet coming in. It is a owl that's going to be bringing in a beast bonus. Beast bonus could potentially be really good. Of course, beasts do have half mana start to all of them. The main thing that would, of course, be useful for is Sunbird teams, but you can also probably find a few other things as far as beast teams are concerned. We have Thursday for Sorcerer class event. Pretty underwhelming hero class, one of the worst, so you can pretty much just ignore that. And yeah, pretty uneventful week other than that new bird on Wednesday for the beast bonus. As far as Soulforge, also pretty underwhelming this week, oddly enough. Queen of Sin, of course, is here, as I mentioned. First time you can really easily obtain her since she's been released. Not really that good of a thing, but given that it's their first time really in easily availability, she's in both event keys and diamonds, so if you're seeking her, she's around. Other than that, mostly Mythics this week are completely pointless to get. I guess maybe Queen of Rurg, she comes into play occasionally on Guild Wars and Delves and Tower of Doom and stuff like that. She's mainly used for all of her +1s, really good with 10 mana cost troops like Valkyrie and Apothecary and stuff like that. Those 10 mana cost ones that need those converts. Good in general on troops that require 10 and 11 mana costs. However, more often than not, she's ran, Possessed King is ran instead of Queen Aurora. However, when you need those quick +1s, it normally works out better. It's pretty much almost only used for its final trait, since it's basically a 6-way color link to benefit your team. But other than that, that's basically the only thing worth crafting, and she's probably not even that worth crafting. She's more so a 10th or so craft, somewhere around there. So yeah, pretty much nothing as far as Soulforge either. Let's go grab our tribute and go mess with a few teams real quick. The main one being that really weird Devour chance. And apparently we're up against a Lust team. Should we fight it? Of all things to go and fight. Well, actually this is the only team I wanted to show, so I guess we'll try it, and if we fail, we fail. But the other thing I just wanted to show real quick is, of course, Sorcerer class event this Thursday. If you're going to bother running that, basically run 3 Wall of Tentacles into a 15-cost mana weapon. Initially, you'd want to run something like Black Manacles with any hero class that uses a extra magic off of purple or brown, and then switch over to something like Mang or whatever else you want to run for the rest of the battles. But yeah, to start with triple Wall of Tentacles. Wall of Tentacles give 5 mana to all your allies, and you just keep stacking that into basically infinite mana. It's a little bit annoying on the Corvash battle if there's going to be a Corvash battle, just because all the mana drain, but hopefully there won't be a Corvash battle this time around, so you can just wipe through all of them with that. Anyways, as far as this, I do want to test this. Hopefully this one won't troll us too badly. It probably will, though. But let's see what we can get out of this. So basically, of course, since we're using this troop, it has a, oh no, a dreaded freeze. But there's a way around that. We do have a Apothecary to go get rid of that, so no freeze for you. So now we just go spam like crazy, Dragon's Eye. So now we're up to a 30% chance to devour, and we just keep going up from there. So now we're at a 35% chance to devour, and we are going to keep track. Oh, sorry, what did I say, 35? Wait, did I just cast? No, I didn't, never mind. Now we're at 35. I don't know why I thought I cast Dragon's Eye for a second. But basically, we're just going to keep doing this until we have a pretty decent amount of chance to devour, and apparently this battle's going to troll us. I might need to try finding a different one. I want to try getting to 100% just to show it, but there's 45%. There's 50% chance to devour. So if we go for one right now, it's 50-50. Also, it does let you target it right now. It says random, but it does let you target it currently. And of course, it didn't trigger on our 50%. Of course, now we can't even raise it higher. So it looks like we're just going to have to play this battle out normally at this point. So let's go and try devouring that up. And once again, we do not get it. It's going to troll us now, isn't it? It is at 50% devour rate. But of course, given that it's 50% devour rate, that means it's at about 10% devour rate. There we go. Now we're at 55% devour rate. And we can just enrage it to give it even more damage. And yeah, it's going to troll us. We'll get to 100% next battle just so we can really show it off. Of course, that would be normally what you want to do. Start getting it to like 70, 75 and higher and just kind of go from there. This battle's going to troll us now. So we'll go and try devouring that hero. Once we get that down, we should win. Once we get one more devour, we should be good to go. So now it's a 60% chance to devour. And what else we need? Grab. Did we give him a skull? I just give him a skull. Wait. Give him a skull here. Get rid of that dragon soul. Or skull. No, who's that? Get her devour here. And now we have a 70% chance to devour. And what do we take here? Grab that for now. And it should hopefully kill, or we'll take the skull. That works too. Ah, there we go. Okay. So let's show that a little bit better. Let's get a 100% Devour chance. We'll find a team that's not as intimidating, or I'll deliberately just keep picking until we do. But you know what? Let's just do that. That sounds like the better plan. Find something not too annoying just to show its 100% Devour rate. What can we get here? Obviously, normally you would start devouring a little bit before 100%, like at around 80% or maybe a little bit earlier than that. That's probably just normal fire bombs. Can we find like a treasure team or something? Where are all of them hiding? That greed team might have been able to work. It doesn't necessarily have to be something super easy, but can we get at least something that would work? Silent Sentinel. Oh no, never mind. That'd be annoying. Hero would keep getting silenced. Seriously, where are all the treasure teams? Normally there's things like with gnomes or treasures or something. The awkward moment when we don't want to find fire bombs or find them every seconds. In a second, I'm just gonna set my team to something super easy just so we could go test it real quick. Come on, anything that will not like outright kill us, so we can get guaranteed. There we go. Here's something. But his first slot. Don't want to deal with that. Seriously, just give us anything. Anything at all. About to go do one of these or set our own at this point. Oh, that's meta right there. We already know before even looking at it. Is this gonna keep giving us the same 10 cycle? Guy's still running that Doom weapon. Running meta. There we go. Here's Devour's. No, he has Essence of Evil. Seriously! Stop running good teams. We should be looking at some of these 2 battles. Here we go. Here's something that isn't too bad. Hopefully, Divine Ishpala will be tame. Okay, let's try this. Go get 100% Devour. Okay, so right off the bat, we'll cast this. Get all of our mana immediately. Then we start casting this like crazy. 30% chance. Keep track. Take our blue. Get that to full mana. And let's go all the way to like 90% or so. Should be pretty much guaranteed at that point. 35%. Please stop taking turns. Oh no, Divine Ishpala. Might get alignment. So we're denying her green, so she'll have one less thing to deal with. Let's see, this is 45%, right? 45%. Somewhere around there. Oh no, the dreaded bless. Hold up, do we not have Dispel? That's a problem. Because I don't think it works in the correct order to actually get rid of the thing beforehand. Oh, also that has a mean to transform. Even more of a problem. Hold up. That's a big problem. That is a really big problem. Okay, you know what? Plan B. Defend team. There we go. We're already on the correct team. Gnomes should be good enough. Especially since we can just keep converting out the last slot. But just in case, because I know even gnomes are going to troll us. Let's go for treasure. Treasure cannot troll us. Let's go all the treasure. Okay, does treasure just bring it up? I don't think so. I forget what this thing. Oh, no, that actually does. Okay, let's just go sacred treasure, bag. And this will not fail us. There we go. Last resort. There is no possible way this will fail us. I just wanted to show the Devour rate. So let's go get our normal Devour now and get up to 100% just to show that it can indeed reach 100% and that it is indeed actually increasing from the transforms. Something we already kind of know from Gargantor, but I just want to show it this way because it's fun to watch it get 100%. Oh, there we go, 30%. Go all the way. And he just keeps getting random dragons there. 30, come on. 35%. 40%. Let's go gain gold. Or should say ourselves. Don't have to give us anything. 45%. I'm gonna give him the extra turn. It's fine if he hits us. 50%. Also, keep in mind, things like Sunbird casting on the opposing team and stuff also count. 60%. And of course, normal kills also count. Let's see, 65%. 70%. And I guess we'll try devouring at around 90. Or we'll just go all the way. 85%. I feel like I'm repeating some of these numbers, but at least we'll know for sure we'll have 100% at that point. Let's see. That's for a mana. No extra turns. Let's take that for now. 90%. We'll just manually take some mana. Grab the last of it off of that. Yeah, let's go for it. 90%. Almost guarantee I'm repeating numbers. 95%. And this one, if I didn't miscount, and I probably miscounted, one should be the last one for 100%. And 100%. And if not, our Devour is... Oh, now we're at 100% for sure. So, as you'll see, we'll have 100% Devour. And again, we should have 100% Devour. So we instantly know we have a guaranteed chance of getting it. And there we go. And that's pretty much what that thing does. And just for fun, let's go do it on one more normal battle. How about this revenge battle? I'm pretty sure it could take it out. Probably not. It does start up a little bit slow. But yeah, this is pretty much the new troop. You can now start using this very low rarity stuff. It is Dragon's Eye. You get for free from 250 wins on Dragon Claw hero class, which is from, or sorry, the Dragon Guard hero class from the Dragon Claw Kingdom. And you just get 250 wins on that, and boom, you get yourself Dragon's Eye for free. Only takes several hours to go get that. Apothecary and Ultra Rare you can easily get from Glory and Gem Keys. This you can buy for Glory this week for 300. And the only slightly hard part is Gimlet. He's an epic. You'd have to find him in Glory Gem Guild or get Peachus. And you would also be able to... actually, no, that'd be it. But you would also need to make sure you trade him. And you could maybe use an orb if you really had to for that. But or just grind out a bunch of red yellows, which might take a few hours to go grind that out. Anyways, let's go play this as a for real battle for now and see how well it can actually do here. It actually can take out stuff like this if you really had to, and you can, of course, use similar stuff like this, not necessarily this exact team, but similar things to try to take on various high-level delves. But we're at 30%. Let's keep track of it a little bit so we know our exact rate. 35. I guess we still kill him, but before we do, we have Gimlet there, so we can rage kill. We'll do that. Move that just to pick our skull. We'll just die up burn and other stuff. So that's 35 or 40% now, I mean. Let's see, what do we have as far as Apothecary here? I guess we'll take that. Grab all that. That'll bring us to 45 as soon as we get that down. I'll go for that, 45%. And once we get it to about 50, I guess it's about time to start devouring stuff. Actually, even now is about time. 45%, we can gamble with that. Of course not. Do keep in mind, it does do very minimal if it doesn't end up getting the Devour. All it's doing is a stun curse, which is still somewhat useful, but obviously not that much. Well, we'll try for it again. Actually, before we do, let's go and just try destroy killing that. Also simultaneously getting our transform there. And now we have a 50% chance to Devour. And of course, that also means it has basically a 0% chance to Devour. Luck. Go figure. Okay, now we're at 55%. That will just die naturally at this point. And it just wants to troll us like crazy. Let's see. We'll go for that. Come on, 55%. You know you want it. How about that? 60%. You're definitely going to get it now. 60%. There you go. But that is the new troop. It's the best early game Devourer now. It's also one of the better Devourers in the game. Probably about 3rd or 4th best. Obviously, if you have Iron Gut or Great Maul and other things like that, especially Iron Gut, you'd still be using that in every single instance rather than this troop. But if you lack literally no Devour options whatsoever, or you don't really have that many good ones, you still have all the low rarity ones, this is the best one of all the low rarity options. Better than Gluttony, better than if you were to run the Bullets or anything like that. It might start a little bit low at 25%, but it has a stun curse attached to it, so you get to get rid of those immune to Devours on them. And you also just can keep stacking him higher and higher and higher. There's no limit, and you can literally get him to 100% Devour rate at 11 mana cost, which is even better than things like High King Iron Gut and Great Maul and stuff like that, simply because once you get it to that point, of course it would take a little bit of casting to get it to that point, but once you did get it to that point, that would be basically a gigantic 24 mana cost spell for only 11 mana cost. So really, really potent potential on the thing. And yeah, great Devour option if you don't currently own a Devour option. So now everyone has Devour options. Anyways, guys, that'll wrap it up for this video. If you still have any other questions, feel free to leave it in the comment section below. Thank you all so much for watching, and have a wonderful week. Goodbye, everyone.